Today is the first day of the fall veto session. The General Assembly will be in session this week until the 14th, working on end-of-the-year legislation.
They'll return again the 19th before wrapping up on November 21st. Advocacy groups wasted no time making sure lawmakers hear their concerns. One of those, qualified immunity.
To date, dozens of families gathered inside the Capitol to make Illinois the fifth state to end this decades-old practice.
News Channel 20's Monique Davis is working for you to share what families and organizations had to say. Monique?
That's right. Qualified immunity protects law enforcement officers from being sued by people who claim their rights were violated. Today, groups across the state gathered in Springfield asking lawmakers to get rid of it. Making Noise for Change Representative Dr. LaShawn Latree says this action will be key to holding law enforcement accountable.
I believe that if we unite and come together to fight to end qualified immunity, we could save lives and we could hold law enforcement, police accountable for any sort of inactions or bad actions that happen against civilians.
Connecticut, New York, Colorado, and New Mexico are the only states that have either ended qualified immunity completely or limited its application in court cases. Qualified immunity excludes protection for officers who violated a clearly established constitutional right. Reporting in studio, I'm Monique Davis. Back to you.
Thanks, Monique. Now, qualified immunity has been around since 1967 when it was introduced by the Supreme Court. Coming up on News Channel 20 at 6, hear directly from families impacted by qualified immunity.
Today is the first day of the fall veto session. The General Assembly will be in session this week until the 14th, working on end-of-the-year legislation. We'll return again on the 19th before wrapping up November 21st.
Advocacy groups wasted no time making sure lawmakers hear their concerns. Now, one of those is qualified immunity. Qualified immunity protects law enforcement officers from being sued by people who claim their rights were violated. Connecticut, New York City, Colorado, and New York are only states that have either ended qualified immunity completely or limited its application in court cases.
Families impacted by police brutality and activists filled the state capitol early this morning to call on legislators to end qualified immunity.
News Channel 20's Monique Davis is working for you with the changes these families want to see. Monique?
That's right. Qualified immunity protects police officers from being sued by individuals who claimed officers violated their rights. And now families of victims and activists are calling on Illinois to join a short list of states who have gotten rid of this protection.
What do we want? Justice. What do we want it? What do we want? Justice. What do we want?
The Push for 5 coalition is calling on the state of Illinois to join Connecticut, New York, Colorado, and New Mexico to amend qualified immunity.
We need every cop that has been subject to misconduct to be registered in a tracking system. The state's attorney to open all cases that have been closed unjustly.
Qualified immunity protects officers from personal liability in civil lawsuits unless the plaintiff can prove the officer violated a, quote, clearly established right.
We want the decertification of police officers who have misconduct records. And they must enter a tracking system to prevent being rehired in another police department. To be issued a license where they must work under the state of Illinois.
The coalition says this legislation is necessary to hold law enforcement to the same standard as any other profession.
How are you a public servant and when you kill one of us, you get to go on vacation? If I don't show up to work as a teacher, do I get paid vacation? No. If I don't show up to work as a firefighter, do I get paid vacation? Fire. You get fired!
Angelique Salgado's son, Jonathan Molina, was shot and killed by police in 2018. She says this legislation will prevent families from experiencing future heartache.
I can't bring my son back, but we can stop from other sons, loved ones, daughters from being in the same situation that we are in.
The Push for 5 coalition is also demanding that Illinois residents' tax dollars should be excluded from funding law enforcement liability insurance. Reporting in studio, I'm Monique Davis. Back to you.
Thanks, Monique. The Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police feels strongly qualified immunity is a foundational protection for the policing profession, and any modification to this legal standard will have a devastating impact on the police's ability to fulfill its public safety mission. Thanks for watching. Stick around by subscribing today and don't miss a single video.